Hello and welcome to our second episode on the influence of the past on personal development. So today we address the aspect of family and personal development. You see, family has a significant impact on our personal development. When we trace back the years of our formative years, we will get to realize that our families, our upbringing have actually played a major role in shaping our values, our beliefs, and our behaviors. Even our self-image of ourselves, the things that we aspire to do in this life, is basically influenced by our family. I'll give you an example of when growing up, where you were always told because of your intelligence, you're going to be a lawyer, you're going to be a doctor, or you're going to be based on your intelligence level, and that they kept telling you that, they kept calling you doctor, they kept calling you lawyer, and even as you grew up, you began to see yourself as a lawyer, as a doctor. Then life happens, and you find yourself that maybe in your secondary you did not do well, and as a result you cannot pursue that career in as a doctor or as a lawyer just yet. But because in your whole life you were told to who you were going to be, you find yourself in a confused state, like, okay, this is what I wanted to be, but I cannot do that now. What can I do? Where can I go? What is next for me? And you see how profound our family upbringing can influence a way. You can be in a total mess as you grow up because you cannot meet certain standards that were set for you by your family. It is very important to trace how the influence of the family has over your personal development, has over your self-image, has over your certain beliefs, has over your certain norms, because you will need to begin to ask or to question certain norms and certain behaviors that actually you possess. You need to be questioning certain stereotypes that have been attached to your family. You see, you've heard sayings like, if you come from a poor background must not come from you. And we live in a meritocracy kind of environment where you are judged based on where you come from. You need to understand how that also plays a significant role on who you become and on your personal development. You see yourself as less because of where you come from. You see yourself as less because of your family background. You need to be aware of how much influence your family has played over your life, so that you begin to make conscious decisions right now that will actually benefit your future and even benefit the generations to come, because you have a responsibility not only to yourself, but you have a responsibility even to the future generations. So the decisions you make today will not only affect you, but they affect your generations. You see, the decisions that our parents have made that have not only affected them, but they've also affected us. And if we're not too careful, the decisions that affected our parents are the same that will affect us, and are the same that will affect our children, until we begin to realize, you begin to see certain patterns in your life. Say, okay, this has been a pattern. This, my grandfather used to do this, my father used to do this, but I will not continue doing this. And this has been a pattern in our family, but I will not let this continue. We have aspects of people where they measure how far they will go in life based on how far certain family members have gone. So if, for example, maybe you're in your family, no one has actually been able to no one has been able to live a life that is admirable, a life that people can look up to, a life that is influencing those around you. In an environment where your grandfather was a drunkard, your father was a drunkard, your brothers are drunkards, and automatically you feel like that is the path to go. But you can trace back and begin to see how those things are influencing you, how they are influencing your self-image, how they are influencing your self-image, and understand that you have the power to actually change your present and your future. You have that responsibility now. Yes, you might have not had influence in the past, in your formative years, because you were just exposed to an environment that you did not choose to be in. You were exposed to a family, or you were brought up in a family that you did not choose to be part of that family. You are part of that family, and it will continue to be like that as long as you live, and as long as history stands. You will always be brought back to where you come from. You see, there is these temptations that mostly people begin to develop as they develop themselves, wanting to like let go of their past, or like distancing themselves from where they come from, because they are too ashamed to actually say, this is where I come from. We have issues of people that are actually pretending to be coming from families that they are actually not coming from. We have issues of people that actually deny their parents because they are too ashamed of their parents. And I understand that aspect where you are dressed based on where you come from. People will take you as important or as not important based on where you come from. If you say you come from a not well-to-do family, no one will actually take you serious. But when you say you come from a well-to-do family, everybody wants to listen to you. Everyone wants to take you seriously because, they want to benefit from you. And when they look at someone that is coming from not a well-to-do family, they have nothing to benefit from such a person. And as a result, they will not give them the time or the attention. And you will need to understand how that also has influenced you. You see, experiences are not the same for everyone. We all have different experiences, and I cannot actually tell you how you can what you have experienced, but I can actually in a way show you how you can navigate and try to understand your past, so that you can make you begin to make conscious decisions. You begin to make decisions that will actually benefit you and your future. You see, this is something that I have been myself reflecting on, and in a way understood how the past influenced me. How in a way for a long time I was only doing the learning and not the doing part. I read books, I attended seminars, I did everything that I could to develop myself, and yet there was just something that was holding me back. Not until I began to trace back why I was not able to do the things that I was doing. You see, sometimes it's not that you are lazy, it's not that you're procrastinating. No, it's just that there's subconscious things that are rooted deep down in you that continue to shape you unknowingly. You see, just because you are done with the past doesn't mean that the past is done with you. Just because you feel like you have moved on, or you've moved out of your parents' house, or you are now able to make decisions for yourself, it doesn't mean that the decisions that your parents or your upbringing have been made for you is just go just like that. No, those things have a way of coming back up now and then. If in an aspect where you are in an environment where you are always compared to other people, so you feel like you are never good enough, so you keep working and developing yourself, hoping that one way or the other you will be good enough. So now how can you now begin to reflect on your past, your upbringing? One of the things that I've realized is that out of respect for our parents or for our guardians, we tend not to question certain things, or if we do, we're not really serious about really finding answers. And one of the things that I want to make clear is that doing an investigation, like trying to understand your past, it is not about now trying to assign blame on your upbringing or your guardians or your parents. No, it's just about finding out how your upbringing has actually influenced you, how it has shaped your self-image, how it has shaped your view of life. You begin to question it. You begin to just question everything. Question your norms, question your behaviors, question your upbringing. And sometimes I think try to have conversations with your parents or your guardians so that you just understand their perspectives, their upbringing. You see, when they begin to tell you how in a way they were brought up, you will begin to see what influences their parenting style. You will begin to realize, okay, so this person is her parenting style or his parenting style or their parenting style is as a result of how they were brought up in or how they saw the world. And you see, each generation sees the world differently, and each generation has its own unique contribution to the world. And of course, there are some things that are being passed on that have stopped serving their purpose. And there are some things that still serve their purpose, like our heritage of who we are as Africans, of who we are as Zambians. That must continue to be passed on. But there are certain norms that, up to this date, they no longer serve their purpose. Looking at where the world is moving and where it's going, they no longer serve their purpose. But there are certain things that makes us who we are as a people, that no matter what, we need to hold dear to. And these are they are principles that must not be changed. But there are things like norms. Norms change. Culture also changes in a way in the lives. It evolves. And that also influences family. So if in a way, of late I've had encounters with people that in a way they make me appreciate life the more. Not that I look down upon, but it's just that I appreciate the exposure that my family has actually given me, or the leisure to actually be free or to choose the things that I want to do. Because growing up, we were never in a home where I grew up in. The only thing that was imposed on us is to be a good human being and education. No matter what, education was something that was deeply, deeply imposed and rooted upon you. So there was no escaping. And I appreciate that aspect of life because they did everything that they could to ensure that every single one of us has the education that we needed. To her, the only thing that was important is to ensure that you are educated. So she made sacrifices, did everything that she could to ensure that we as her children have the life that she wanted, that she envisioned, and that is that we have an education. So for her, that is what matters. And the choice for what you want to be, that was never influenced upon us. Everyone actually chose that which we wanted to do. And everyone is doing that whatever that they wanted to do. And of course, there are other factors that could have contributed to actually not pursuing the exact thing that you wanted. But I grew up in an environment where the choice as to who I want to be was never imposed on me. The only thing that was imposed on me is school. So whether I liked it or not, I had to go to school. Like, school was the number one thing in the house where I grew up in. And depending on where the house that you grew up in, and I believe that is like the norm in every African setup, is like education is like placed at that level where you have to have education, where the parent will sacrifice and do everything in their power to ensure that you have that education. Now there are instances where your family is unable to sponsor or financially doesn't have that financial muscle to actually sponsor you to go do the things that you want to do. So as a result, you are confronted with the truth of you cannot pursue the things that you want to do, because this is a genuine reason for not pursuing the things that you want. So as a result, you just go with whatsoever that is there. But see, this is what I basically encourage some of my friends is this. You may not have right now the power or the resources to pursue exactly what you want, but pursue whatever that you have been given. Be grateful and be thankful that you're actually doing something. But that shouldn't like limit you. That should be a stepping stone to what you want to be eventually. You can pursue that which you wanted to do after you can find means and ways of actually pursuing the things that you wanted to do. For example, they do not have the financial means for you to go and do medicine. You can do any course in the medical field and then later on begin to advance yourself. But unfortunately, many people stop chasing that dream. They become comfortable and stop pursuing the things that they initially intended to do because of that financial constraint that they actually encountered when they were still young. So that also influences who we become. And you must understand, okay, my family never had the resources for me to pursue the things that I wanted. But now that I'm in a capacity where I'm actually fending for myself, I can now do everything in my power to actually push myself to pursue the things that I actually initially wanted to pursue. Unfortunately, it is not the case for many people, as people just tend to just be okay, comfortable, or I don't know what really happens to people, but you have that power now to actually change the course of your life. You can look after yourself now, and you can pursue that which you want. And you've heard time and again that whatsoever that you put your mind to, you can definitely accomplish. And there's nothing that is impossible that you cannot do. So just because you are that constraint doesn't mean that you cannot pursue the things that you want to pursue. And just because right now your family is unable to sponsor you or to take you to where you want to be, it doesn't mean that now you have to start pretending to be where you're not. No, just be thankful, be grateful that, okay, this is where we are. This is where we are as a family. And if I want to be where I'm seeing myself, these are certain measures that I need to put in place. That's what I'm saying. When reflecting on the past, it's not about now blaming your parents or blaming your upbringing. No, it's about having an understanding of how you are the way you are, or how you have arrived where you are right now, and now begin to make concise decisions, like concrete, solid, based on information, not based on wishes, no, based on information, and say, okay, my life is here right now because my family couldn't do this, because my family did this, and I'm not where I am supposed to be, and now I need to take charge of my life and pursue that which I want to pursue. You don't have to let the past define you. So this is not really about placing blame or letting the past define you. No, it's about finding out what made who you are today. And if you are not happy with what made who you are today, you have now that power or that ability to begin to shape your life in the manner that you should go. Meaning you need to begin to look at life in a broader aspect. Meaning you need to expose yourself to different perspectives. Be open. Don't be rigid to learning or to other perspectives. When you expose yourself to different perspectives, it doesn't mean that now you change your perspective. No, it's just that you are now exposed to a lot of things that will actually allow you to make better and informed decisions. And that is the purpose of actually diving into and investigating why the influence of the past, or the influence that your family has had over you. So I hope and pray that this little information that I've shared as in a way will actually contribute and help you investigate your past will actually help you really assess your life and be honest with yourself and confront the certain norms and behaviors, influences, stereotypes, certain parenting styles that you were exposed to. Just question those things and begin to make concrete, concise decisions going forward. If there are things that you are not happy with in how you were brought up in, now you have the authority and the power to begin to shape your life in the manner that you should go. You don't have to be resentful. Just be grateful that, of course, you were exposed to that environment. But that doesn't mean that that is how your life will continue going. No, but right now you have that power. You have the power of choice, of choosing to continue moving on that path that you were brought up in, or to actually set a course that will now benefit you, will benefit your family, and will benefit the generations to come. So when I talk about reflecting and making concise, like concrete decisions that will actually benefit you, it's not just to benefit you, no, but it's to benefit those people that are coming after you. Because the choices you make, I'll repeat this, the choices that you make influence not only you, but those that are coming after you. They will influence your kids, they will influence your grandkids, and even the Bible says your blessings will continue. Even your curses will continue. So based on the decisions that you make, your kids will suffer the decisions that you are making. They will suffer the consequences of the decision that you're making. Your grandkids and your great-grandkids will continue to suffer from the consequences that your decisions have actually caused. Same thing, your decisions, your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren will be benefiting from actually the choices and decisions that you have made going forward. So it's very vital that you look at how the past has influenced you and begin to charge how you yourself are going to influence those that are coming after you. So do you want to repeat the history, or you want to charter a new course that will actually benefit those that are ahead of you? So take some time to truly reflect on your upbringing, on your family, on the parenting style that you were exposed to, and see how it has benefited you and where you think, okay, here it has not served me as the person that I am, or in an environment where you grew up in a family where you are raised the same. But I mean, we all know that we are not all the same, and we see life differently. How has that also affected you? If you are imposed on behaving like everybody else, how has that influenced you? Begin to question all those things and charter a new course for your life. Because otherwise, I wish you all the best things in life. We'll see you next week with another video that will be talking about culture and personal development. I hope you've learned one of the things and truly reflect on your past. I wish you all the best things in life. Chuwie James Mope.